Greetings. So this video is going to be about my DMT experience and the profound experience that I had involves superhuman strength. And I know that this may be hard to believe, but I've been trying to understand DMT for quite some time now, and I believe that DMT works with consciousness and reality itself, and how you can tap into that supernatural, I guess. So of course I didn't record anything because I was that was not on my mind. I didn't even think this was gonna work. But let's just say that there's a hole in a tree that I'm not able to do otherwise, besides having my experience. Now, how that took place was I'm practicing microdosing on the substance, and I noticed some changes, some very particular things that could happen. I don't ever try and break through. I try to take little small hits to try and understand it, to understand what's going on. Not only understand what's going on, but understand what the substance is doing to me and the environment around me. And what was quite interesting, actually, is whenever I had tried it, I don't know if any of you have tried DMT before, but with me, whenever I start having that crystallized environment and ego death, I stay rooted to myself, and I still have a sense of self. But I'm in that borderline of like being one with everything. In that moment, something strange could happen. So with me, this strange thing happened. I listen to subliminals, and I start to think, and I was actually trying to undergo a test. Every time I do DMT, it's a learning experience to me. I don't ever use it to trip. No. I have an objective and I have a goal in mind to understand it. Not only understand it, but use it. So I'd clench my hands and clench my arms, and the strangest thing could occur is whenever I do it, my muscles feel like they're, and this is like multiple hits. This is like on the verge of an ego death, being one with everything, right? If you start to understand and see how your body is, you'll notice like your muscles, it feels like there's more strength, or your muscles are more tight. And so I was like, well, if this is happening, then why don't I test something? So I did. I tested. And the results I came up with were something quite profound. And the reason why I did this test, because I know about MK Ultra and how psychedelics gave people superhuman strength. So if they can do it, then I can. But not held down in a chair, kind of, in a sense. And anybody can do this. You just have to believe. You have to believe. Now, I don't have... the tree that I hit is in the backyard, and I will show you exactly what I did to this tree. And I'm talking about, this is a big tree. Like a tree that's almost 2 feet across, and I took a chunk out of it. I want you to take that into consideration real quick. A big oak tree, and I punched a chunk out of this tree. Now, when I say a chunk, I mean like a little hole and a piece came off of the tree. About centimeter or 2 centimeters. And I try to do this whenever I wasn't doing DMT, and I wasn't able to get the same effect. It was strange how it's kind of strange how DMT actually interacts with your mind. Not only your mind, but I know that your consciousness creates reality. And how if you are connected with everything, then there's a chance that you could modify your biology doing so. I've performed different experiments with the DMT before. I've done meditation while smoking DMT. I've done so many different experiments, and I'll get to that on other videos, but this is just something I wanted to say, that the potential with the substance is great, and more people need to understand that it's not just for smoking and then being taken to a different place. No. It could be used for so much more. And there's so much potential. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's banned. Because they know somebody is going to tinker around with this kind of stuff. And the potential that this has, if I'm able to do that, there's no telling what could happen. Next experiment I could do, see if I could bend steel. I'm going to be trying to understand the spirit molecule more, and it's astonishing. It really is astonishing. So that's all I had to say with my experience. I've done multiple experiences before where it feels like reality is breaking down around me. But I will stay focused. I will stay in myself. If you remain and keep a sense of self, I feel like that's whenever the supernatural can come in. Basically, resisting a breakthrough. If you resist a breakthrough, and you get in that moment of weakness, to where it feels like your heart stops beating, and it feels like reality is collapsing around you, that's whenever this superhuman strength that I have talked about takes place. So if you're able to remain control, and you'll feel it, you'll feel the power. You could feel it in your arms and your legs if you flex. Like if you're able to, and I know this is going to be difficult for somebody that's undergoing ego death. I know. It's not something that, it may not even be on your mind. But you have to try and keep a goal in mind, and you have to try and adjust your beliefs a little bit. If you don't believe that you can bend the steel, you won't bend it. If you don't believe that you have superhuman strength, you won't achieve it. But DMT works with your beliefs, in a sense. It does. It does. So this is my first, well, not technically my first video, this is my second video, but this is technically a channel introduction and explaining my DMT experience and how it's profoundly changed my life. I learn more and more about it every time I've done it. And it's beautiful. I think it's a very enjoyable experience. So I'm not urging anyone to try that, but you can. I'm saying this supernatural stuff is possible. And the reason why I know it's possible, because you think about individuals undergoing exorcisms, having superhuman strength, for instance. That's one example. If someone like that can have superhuman strength, how does that happen? Start to question things. Start to try and understand things. That's my whole goal here, is to understand the supernatural, an understanding of the supernatural. But that's all I had to say. My Instagram will be in the link in the description. Few of you may actually come from my Instagram. So, peace.